You find a job listing that looks perfect. You spend hours tailoring your resume, writing a custom cover letter, and submitting the application, only to realize months later that the glowing opportunity you walked into was a toxic work environment. The trap snaps shut before you even know you're in it. We fall into this trap because we treat job postings as objective, factual documents outlining a daily routine. They are not. They are carefully crafted marketing materials designed to sell you on a role. This diagram illustrates the problem: information asymmetry. The company knows exactly why the last 3 people quit this role, but they use standardized corporate language to hide those flaws. The weight of knowledge sits entirely on the employer side. Most hiring managers aren't sitting in a boardroom scheming to deceive you. These linguistic tactics are simply an industry standard. They are designed to cast a wide net and attract a massive volume of applicants. If you accept these marketing documents at face value, you forfeit your time and your negotiating leverage. You have to learn how to actively audit this language before you ever hit apply. The first phase of this document audit focuses on the culture section. This is where companies use upbeat promises to mask their actual operational realities. Take the phrase fast-paced environment. On paper, it sounds energetic and exciting. In practice, it frequently points to a heavy workload driven by a chronically understaffed team struggling to meet unrealistic deadlines. Then you have phrases like work hard, play hard, or a family-like culture. Look at this recruitment poster. The ping pong table implies fun, but the paperwork reveals the truth. These phrases systematically blur the lines between your compensated working hours and your personal life. When a company calls you family, they often expect the unconditional loyalty and limitless availability you would give to your actual relatives. The culture speak acts as a preemptive defense mechanism. By framing exhaustion as dedication, the company normalizes expectations of unpaid overtime long before you sign an offer letter. The second phase of the audit targets the actual job duties. You need to watch out for the deliberate use of non-standard job titles and entirely undefined responsibilities. This Venn diagram maps out how companies use inflated, colloquial titles. You might see a listing for a growth ninja or a digital wizard. These sound quirky, but they actually sit at the intersection of traditional marketing, sales, and IT roles. The listing will usually tell you to expect to wear many hats. As those distinct roles collapse into one tiny center section, you are suddenly absorbing multiple distinct job descriptions into a single daily routine. To seal the deal, the listing includes the phrase duties as assigned. This acts as the ultimate corporate loophole, ensuring that your reporting structure and daily tasks remain completely undefined. Vague titles are rarely a sign of fun startup flexibility. They serve as a structural mechanism to get 3 people's worth of work done for 1 person's salary. The final and most critical phase of the document audit evaluates financial compensation. Money-related vagueness is the strongest signal of commercial intent in the entire listing. Watch the ink on this contract. When a company posts a job without a salary range, that absence is a calculated choice. I promise you it is not an oversight. If the listing relies on the phrase competitive salary, they are attempting to keep you in the dark. This tactic allows the employer to evaluate your current salary history first, anchoring the final negotiations downward, or hiding a rate that sits well below the market average. You should also scrutinize complex bonus structures. If the math to hit your target earnings requires highly specific, confusing conditions, you are often looking at a commission-only role disguised as a salaried job. An employer who refuses to discuss real numbers early in the process is intentionally withholding your leverage. That financial vagueness tells you everything you need to know about how they value their workforce. Reading the document critically is a good start, but you also need to conduct external verification. Before you submit any personal information, you should run a quick 15-minute research routine. This calendar tracks a single job ID. First, check if the exact job has been posted repeatedly. A chronically open role indicates high turnover or a bait and switch. Next, verify the recruiter on LinkedIn. Finally, pull up salary benchmarks to ensure their competitive offer isn't bottom quartile. Running this brief due diligence shifts your role entirely. You stop being a passive target for corporate marketing and become an active risk assessor protecting your own career. Spotting a red flag during your audit does not mean you have to immediately walk away from the application. Instead, use those red flags as tools. Convert vague phrasing from the listing into direct interview questions about core hours, team size, and manager expectations. The employer's reaction will tell you exactly what kind of company they are. Transparent leaders will gladly clarify the scope of the role. Toxic employers will dodge your direct questions and try to pivot back to culture speak. You can bypass this manual decoding process completely with CloudHire. Their AI-driven matching connects you directly with verified employers who are upfront about the role, the expectations, and the pay from day one. Learning to decode employer marketing language puts the control back in your hands. You stop playing an anxious guessing game, and you start engaging in an objective, empowered business transaction.